morning, everybody. RV living with the geezer. No, Luna's in the back seat. We're over here. I just stopped at a convenience store to get some tea, and we're between Decatur heading over to Bridgeport, which is only about, maybe 10 miles, I guess. We run over to Brookshire's. But beautiful day. It's 56 degrees right now, but it's supposed to warm up mid 70s. So yeah, really nice day. We're supposed to have warmer weather this week. But I was watching, what I want to talk about, I was watching a rerun last night of Chicago Fire. And they've got a couple of older firemen on there. And thank you, Dennis. Boondocking with Dennis. Dennis gave me a shout out the other day. He passed the fire station, and he said, Calvin, RV living with the geezer. Calvin was an old fireman. He said, in fact, he was so old, he was a fireman before fire was invented. Thank you for that shout out, Dennis. I appreciate it, buddy. It actually got me a couple of subscribers. So, yeah, thank you. But anyway, I was watching an episode of Chicago Fire, and there are a couple of older firemen on that show, you know, regulars. I'm sure some of y'all watch that. And old Herman, he's one of the captains there. He was telling one of the younger firefighters, and I'd heard this saying before, he was saying one of the most important jobs of an older fireman is to teach a younger fireman how to become an older fireman. So just think about that. Most important job, one of the most important jobs of an older fireman is to teach a younger fireman how to become an older fireman. So they just brought back, when I started back in 1973, it was a volunteer department that we started. A little girl had died in a fire out in Leon Springs area, which is west of San Antonio, and they didn't have a fire department out there. Closest one was like, good. By the time the guys got to the trucks, they were all volunteer departments out there, and it was a good 30 minutes before they could get over there. And so a group got together and decided to start a fire department. And I was one of the charter guys that got it started. And there was just 8 of us. And we had a 69 square miles of northwest Bexar County to cover. So it was pretty busy. And with just 8 of us, and you could call other departments for help, but like I say, they were a long ways away. But the point I'm trying to get to is, none of us had any training at all about firefighting. None of us knew one thing. None of the 8 knew one thing about it. And they appointed some old guy as chief. He was the closest thing to being, he's retired Air Force, so I don't know, maybe he went out and washed the fire trucks or something at the base he was at. But he was the chief, but he had no idea what he was doing. And so we were sort of self-taught, and it's just a good thing that, and we had a lot of fires out there. We started out with a 300-gallon little 4x4 old Army 4x4 that the city of Balcones Heights, which is in San Antonio. They were a paid department. They gave us that truck. And then with only 300 gallons of water, we figured that we would need, a lot more water than that for a fire, a good house fire. So we went and threw a barbecue right off the bat, and the people out there, this was, fresh after that little girl had died, which everybody knew about it, and the people out there were, now you got to think, this is back in 1973. People out there were extremely generous to us. And we were able to purchase a old, used, get this, gas tanker. So, from a fella in Bernie that was a distributor, Exxon distributor, and it held 800 gallons of water, of gas, which we had to really take our time and flush that tank out. Of course, you don't want to spray gas onto a fire. We knew that much about it, but anyway, we got that thing, and there was we built that truck ourselves, and fortunately, one of our members was a plumber. So we got the pump for it, and the auxiliary pump, and he knew all, he did all the piping on it. Yeah, his name, I believe he's still alive. His name was Tadpole Graham, and he was an excellent plumber. So there was not a problem there at all. He got it all plumbed and hooked up. It was white, it was already white, so we just got our stencils, painted the fire department name on the door, and slapped a light bar on the roof, and threw a siren in there, and then we had a county radio that we could be in contact with the dispatcher, who dispatched all the volunteer departments in Bexar County. It's changed so much down there now. They're all mostly paid now since they've gone to those ESDs. But what I wanted to make, we just didn't have older firemen to teach us how to become older firemen. But as the years went by, we were able to teach, because we would get kids in there all the time, and we would be able to teach the kids, some things to keep them safe, which I felt real good about. And then of course I went on in 1976. I went to fire school, because state made you go through. I think back then it was about 300 and something hours of training to become a paid fireman. And then in 1977, I got my first job. So then I had some good instructors in the fire school, fire academy thing we had. But anyway, that's just, seeing that on Chicago Fire last night. I had heard that saying before, and coming into Bridgeport now, so I got to watch my speed. But I heard that Herman said that on Chicago Fire last night, and that's very true. When you're the other thing that they taught us, the older guys, when I got to the paid departments, was keep your mouth, when a young guy comes in. Of course, I had 4 years of firefighting experience, and we fought a lot of fires in Leon Springs back in those days. But they would teach the younger guys, or we would teach the younger guys, best thing you can do is keep your mouth closed and your ears open, and just, in other words, just learn. Try to learn. soak in as much as you can. Okay, guys, I don't want this to get too long. So, anyway, just bringing back memories of the old days. So, I'm gonna work my way over to the park. My girl has got her nose on my left shoulder over here, trying to remind me she needs to go to the park. So, we'll be talking at y'all later. Hope everybody has a great day. Talk to y'all later. Adios. Bye-bye.